What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be building on a video I just did last week where we were talking about how to use your footwork to gain power on your strokes. This week, we're going to be talking about how to use that footwork to increase the spin on the ball. These two things go hand in hand. If you build on one and use it at the right time, you'll know when you can't use it and use the other. In this video, we're going to talk specifically about how to use it tactically as well as technically, what the things are that you need to have in place, and how you need to be trying to use this shot when you are actually constructing or in trouble during the point. So let's get into it. And before we get started, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. We are trying to get to 2,500 so we can start these collaboration projects with other channels. In this video, as I said, we're going to be working on how to use your footwork and your positioning to gain spin on the ball. In the video I did last week, I was talking about when to step in, how to use the footwork to gain power using your momentum, shifting your weight towards the court. In this video, it's all about how to gain revolution on the ball, being able to create heavy balls, height, or even be very effective when you're in a defensive position. The first thing you have to do is ignore everything I said in the last video, but that doesn't mean that it is not important. You just have to base it off of what your goals are. If your goals are to generate a lot of spin, this is the video for you. If you want to get that power, you're just going to have to flip back and forth between these two skills. So how do you gain spin through your feet? Easy. Your racket, in order to create spin, needs to go up through the shot. So you're creating rotation on the ball by brushing up the back of it. I don't like to use the word brush, but a lot of people understand it that way. I like to say pushing the back of the ball up the top, because most of the time you don't actually brush past the shot. The ball gets hit and you actually force it up the top and it starts rolling away. So your goal with your feet and your legs is to do something to make the racket actually move faster. That comes from a level change, going from the bottom up to the top. You can do it in a closed stance or an open stance, but the ideal way to do this is actually to use an open stance and a strong leg load, which puts you way below the level of what you were about to do with the ball, and then you come up, really accentuating the upward motion on the racket. So by just taking this and then adding my legs in, the racket actually travels faster. How do you do that when you're on the court? Well, I'm going to show you. Bringing it to this angle here, when I run to get behind the ball, I'm not just stopping in a basic open stance. Stopping in the open stance allows me to kind of just hold my balance, catch my weight, and then execute a normal shot. But in order to get the legs of the open stance to assist in creating spin, you have to arrive while lowering yourself. So you get into this position where you step down and out, and then as the ball shows up, unload up into the shot. If you're doing this correctly, and you're doing this with a lot of energy, you may find yourself actually coming off the floor every now and then because of how hard you're pushing into the shot. Now, the thing here is you don't want to be off the ground when you strike the ball, if at all avoidable. You want to have your foot engaged to the floor and then be pushing up through the shot as you extend your arm up and around the ball. Most people make the mistake of, when they watch players on tour, they're always seeing them kind of off the floor. They're forgetting these players are so physically into the shot that it takes them off the ground. But off the ground isn't actually the goal. It's just how much force they're putting into it. So as you see me move to the side, I don't move off to the side and then just stop and swing. That is a functional shot, but that's not assisting in creating the spin and height I want. I want that leg down and then pushing up into it. I want to put that leg down first and then push your legs up into it. This will work. Not saying you can't just run over and execute the shot, but when you're really trying to get something from the legs, you need that extra oomph behind it. And that's a result of just really getting the legs to kind of cascade down as you arrive and then use that momentum to carry up. One mistake a lot of people make when they do this, they arrive and then they try to go down and go up. The problem is most times your legs can bend for free. What I mean is, using the momentum of this big step over, you can kind of sink into this from the beginning rather than coming out, lining up with the ball, and then trying to remember to go down and then up. It seems very disconnected, whereas you could just go out, sit down, and then push up right into it. So try to practice this using the momentum of the lateral motion. By the way, somebody commented on this when I did the thing for power last week. Everything I'm saying on the forehand is applicable to the backhand. You move out, whether it's one hand or two, doesn't matter. You go down in, step out, and then you come up. You go down, drop the leg as you step out, and then bring it up. I'm just doing it on the forehand because it's easy to keep the camera and everything in this position. But everything I'm showing, you can immediately apply the same concept on the backhand side. So to illustrate how this works, I'm going to be hitting with Emily as you guys have seen me do before. But here's all I'm going to do. I'm also going to do this to show you the difference between the step in and the pushing up. Emily and I are going to rally on that backhand side, and when she gives me a ball where she would hit her backhand down the line, I'm going to step out and show you what the effect of that leg should be against my opponent. It's not just about me hitting the ball and getting more spin. There's also some tactical things that need to be in play when that happens. So as I rally with her, my goal isn't just to make the shot. My goal is to use that added spin that I'm getting, to use it and find a specific space on the court that's only available when you can generate enough rotation to use it. So she just hits that ball this way. That's top shelf stuff. Y'all don't need to worry about that one yet. But even in that running back, that running shot, I still got the leg down as I pushed up into it. So a lot of times, like I said, you're not going to have time to go out, push down, and then stand up. You're going to drop that knee on the run. Let's see if I can hit one where I'm not hitting like college and tour level shots. My fault. Yep. So even there, I was able to find short angle in the service box right there by dropping that leg. Now, me and Emily are going at a moderate pace from what we usually go to, but that's just to illustrate how you find those spots on the court. If we were to do this full speed, you would have trouble kind of seeing how quickly I go down and up through those shots. But the concept still remains the same. You drop down on arrival, and then you push up through it. And that gives you the ability to make sure you get margin because you know the ball's spinning straight. And you can find spots on the court like short angles and get balls to kick off the court if you're confident in the acceleration. You got to make sure the leg connects to the arm. Otherwise, you're just flicking your hand really quickly and you won't get the added benefit of the legs connecting to the shot. That's going to wrap up this video, guys. Listen, when you're practicing this, you have to give a lot of attention to how you arrive. One thing I didn't mention while I was doing it is it's easier to do this when you're really sinking your heel into the ground and rolling into your toe. A lot of people kind of just put their foot flat, and that's when you end up kind of just going down and up. You don't really roll into that momentum. When you're doing this, practice it slow, build your speed, because there is a certain rhythm to what you need to be doing here. And when you're building that rhythm in, it becomes easy to replicate over and over again. But when you're kind of piecing it together, it becomes a little challenging. But that's gonna wrap this up. Hopefully you guys got some value of it. If you know anybody that would benefit from this stuff, send it off to them. But until then, we'll see you guys in the next one.